Welcome back to School of Soul. I'm Adeline Atlas, 11x published author. This may be one of the most important truths in the entire series. You were never meant to borrow. You were meant to lend. And if that feels hard to hear right now, good. Because it means we've touched a root. A spiritual fracture. One that was programmed into you so early, so subtly, that most people live their entire lives believing debt is just part of life. But it's not. It's a distortion. A spell. And it reveals not a financial issue, but a spiritual misalignment. Let's begin with divine law. Deuteronomy 15:6 says it plainly. You will lend to many nations, but will borrow from none. This isn't metaphor. This is the blueprint. This is a declaration of what it means to be in right standing, spiritually, energetically, universally. When you are in alignment, you don't need to borrow because you are the supply. You don't scramble for resources because you walk as the source. You don't chase survival, you embody provision. But here's what's happened. That frequency has been inverted. Modern society trains people from childhood to aspire to borrowing. You're told that a good credit score is more important than real ownership. You're encouraged to finance everything from your education to your furniture. And by the time you're 25, you've already agreed to 5 systems of energetic bondage, and they celebrate you for it. That's not abundance. That's slavery with a nice interface. Let me say it clearly. Borrowing is not your natural state. Being in debt is not your destiny. Stressing over repayment is not a rite of passage. It's a red flag that you are living out of alignment with spiritual law. Because when you are aligned, you remember who you are. And who you are is not a borrower. You are a lender of light, a distributor of divine overflow, a frequency holder, a steward of abundance, not a participant in scarcity systems designed to keep you entangled. Debt doesn't just mean you owe money. It means your soul is operating in contradiction to its design. That contradiction shows up as constant pressure, exhaustion, an undercurrent of anxiety you can't quite name. It shows up in patterns like avoidance, overworking, shame around spending, guilt when resting, and fear of receiving. Debt is not just math. It's a mirror. It reflects where you've agreed to be smaller than your divine identity. It reflects where you've accepted delay, scarcity, struggle, or shame as normal. It reflects where you believe provision is earned through pain, rather than received through alignment. Let's take it even deeper. Every time you say, I need to borrow, what you're really saying is, I believe I don't have access. And that belief is dangerous. Because your words are spiritual agreements. And when you agree with lack, the universe doesn't correct you. It confirms you. You start to see more reasons to borrow. You attract more crises. You manifest more tight months. Not because the world is against you, but because your energy is emitting a signal that says, I do not have enough within me. But you do. You always did. You just got trained out of it. They trained you to seek permission from banks instead of blessings from source. They trained you to see debt-free as a luxury instead of a standard. They trained you to tolerate struggle because everyone has it. That's spiritual gaslighting. And it's systemic. Because as long as you believe you need their system, you'll never exit it. You'll keep circling the same contracts, fees, payment plans, and penalties, thinking you're the problem, when in reality, you were never the problem. You were just out of position. Let me remind you again of the truth. You were meant to lend, not borrow. That means you were meant to live in such alignment, such overflow, such clarity, that you become the provider, not the seeker. You become the open hand, not the outstretched one. Not because you hustle harder, but because you live anchored in your spiritual worth, not your creditworthiness. So how do we shift back into that alignment? You start by rejecting the lie that borrowing is necessary. You start by remembering that you are already connected to divine supply. You stop speaking the language of debt. I can't afford. I need to borrow. I hope I can make the payment. And you start speaking the language of kingdom law. I live in abundance. All my needs are met through alignment. I choose overflow, not obligation. This isn't delusion. This is a realignment of spiritual posture. Because when you remember that borrowing is a distortion, not your default, you start making different decisions. You start exiting contracts. You stop tolerating pressure disguised as opportunity. You start asking, is this purchase aligned with who I am becoming? Instead of, can I afford the minimum monthly payment? That's how the real shift begins. Not just in your bank account, but in your identity. Because abundance doesn't start with money, it starts with memory. The memory of who you are and what you were designed for. You were not made to stress over student loans. You were not born to spend your life in repayment. You were not created to budget your way into exhaustion. You were created to overflow, to lend, to lead, to move through life unattached to systems that harvest your peace. So today, I invite you to revoke every spiritual agreement you've ever made with lack. Break the contract, renounce the curse, return to alignment. Say it with me now, not from wishful thinking, but from deep cellular knowing. I was meant to lend, not borrow. And if I'm not there yet, it doesn't mean I failed, it means I'm on my way back. Back into alignment, back into overflow, back into my rightful energetic position. Because the soul doesn't owe, it owns. And it's time you did too. Welcome back. I'm Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and this is the Manifestation series, where we don't just talk about manifesting, we master it. Because let's be honest, manifestation has been watered down, reduced to vague quotes, mood boards, and empty promises. But you didn't come here to wish. You came here to build a reality that hits different. A reality that responds to your frequency, your language, your alignment, and your decision to stop playing small. This series is not fluff. It's physics, frequency, and fierce creative power. Inside the Manifestation series, you're going to learn how to collapse timelines, shift identities, and speak worlds into existence, just like the greatest minds in history. This isn't just about being positive. This is about being powerful. Here's what you unlock inside. Vision to Reality, the Vision Board course. You've heard about vision boards, but you've never done them like this. This is a full energetic ritual, a precision-coded map for your subconscious, designed to bridge image, frequency, and strategy. It's not arts and crafts. It's blueprinting your future in visual form and turning it into matter. Time, quantum timelines, and why time isn't real. Manifestation doesn't take time, it takes alignment. In this module, I'll show you how time is just a mirror of energy and how to collapse timelines using choice, clarity, and vibration. Past, present, future, they're happening now. And when you know how to navigate time quantum style, you stop waiting and start receiving. Quantum jumping, instantly up level. Your next level life isn't years away. It's one decision away. In this training, you'll learn how to quantum jump, how to shift into a version of you that already has what you desire. This isn't fantasy. It's how high-performance creators, athletes, and spiritual masters leap beyond limits. Jump now. Land in power. Every word. The power of affirmations and spoken language. Words build worlds. In this course, I show you how to use affirmations like spell work, not just repeating empty mantras, but speaking with vibration, intention, and spiritual force. If you've ever felt like affirmations don't work, this will change everything. You'll learn to command your field, not just request from it. The greats, learning from the most exceptional minds in history. We're not the first to master this. In this legendary module, we decode the techniques, habits, and quantum genius of the world's most powerful manifestors, from ancient sages to modern icons. You'll learn how to think like the greats, move like the greats, and manifest like the greats. This isn't another feel-good series. This is a spiritual weapon, disguised as a manifestation course. It's made for leaders, cycle breakers, visionaries, and soul builders. You don't need another wish list. You need a system that teaches you how to bend reality. This is that system. So if you're ready to stop playing with potential and start creating results, welcome to your next level. The Manifestation series is open now. You know what to do. Let's build what they said was impossible and make it inevitable.